Special Agent Elijah Brooks stands over a fallen police chief, his temple bleeding. In one hand, he holds the chief's badge, in the other, a handgun. Behind him, his 8-year-old daughter Zuri watches with wide, innocent eyes. This is the culmination of a father's quest for justice, a journey that began with a peaceful afternoon in Mapleton, Georgia, a city with deep racial divisions. Zuri, a bright and vibrant black girl, was born deaf, but her spirit speaks volumes. She lives in a world filled with the quiet love of her parents, Elijah and Isla. Her father, a 41-year-old special agent with the FBI's Civil Rights Division, and her mother, a respected community activist, have dedicated their lives to fighting injustice. Elijah and Isla have prepared Zuri for a world that isn't always kind. They taught her to be strong, to use her sign language skills to communicate, and to navigate challenging situations. As the Mapleton Spring Festival approaches, they decide it's time for Zuri's first solo outing. Her parents, filled with a mix of pride and apprehension, have given her the tools to navigate a world that often judges her for both her silence and her skin. At the festival, Zuri's excitement turns to fear. A group of teenagers mocks her, snatching her communication card. As she desperately tries to retrieve it, two police officers, Thomas Reed and Michael Delaney, approach. Officer Reed, a veteran with a history of excessive force complaints, ignores Zuri's frantic signs, interpreting her silence as defiance. He throws her to the ground with unnecessary force, and as she reaches for her identification card, Officer Delaney shouts, "Gun!" In an instant that will forever alter multiple lives, Officer Reed draws his weapon and fires. Zuri collapses, a searing pain tearing through her shoulder. Blood spreads across her yellow sundress. Elijah receives a call that his daughter has been shot by police and is on the way to the hospital. When he arrives, his wife Isla is there, her face a mask of grief and rage. Police Chief Robert Garrison approaches them with a rehearsed sympathy, claiming it was an unfortunate incident and that the officers were placed on administrative leave. He tells them the officers' body cameras malfunctioned during the incident, a convenient excuse that sends alarm signals through Elijah's mind. Zuri's trauma surgeon tells Elijah and Isla that their daughter is stable, but that small bullet fragments remain too close to her spinal cord to be removed. He warns them that the psychological trauma may be even worse than the physical wounds. Elijah's shock has crystallized into something harder, colder, more dangerous. The corrupt officers of Mapleton PD have no idea what they have unleashed by targeting his child. They have not only shot the daughter of an FBI agent, but awakened a father's most dangerous instinct. Elijah remains by Zuri's side for 36 hours. A news alert reveals cell phone footage of the incident, confirming that officers Reed and Delaney brutalized his daughter. The phone nearly cracks in his grip as he watches the truth of what happened. The next day, Elijah steps away from Zuri's bedside to make a critical call to his FBI supervisor, Director Marcus Hayden. He asks to activate an unofficial investigation, but Hayden cautions him that an official investigation takes time and requires Justice Department approval. Elijah counters that he doesn't have time and that the police will be destroying evidence and coaching witnesses as every minute passes. Hayden agrees to let him work off the books, but warns that he will have to work without official bureau resources. Elijah thanks him, already mentally assembling his plan of attack. Back in Zuri's room, Elijah meets Sergeant Alicia Washington, a black female officer whose troubled expression suggests she's not part of the corruption. She hesitates before telling him that not everyone in the department supports what happened, and that there are inconsistencies in the official report. She glances at Zuri with genuine compassion and leaves quickly, but the brief exchange confirms Elijah's suspicion that there are cracks in the blue wall of silence. The Mapleton Police Union issues a statement fully supporting Officers Reed and Delaney, describing them as heroes who made split-second decisions in a threatening situation. They also parade officers through the hospital to intimidate potential complainants. At the same time, the shop owner, Beverly Williams, gives a statement to the media, falsely accusing Zuri of acting erratically and trying to steal from her store. The blatant lies infuriate Elijah, but he assures Isla they don't know who they're dealing with. This isn't over, not by a long shot. A few days later, Zuri's trauma is still so great that it has triggered a form of selective mutism, and she has stopped using sign language, even with her parents. This sight breaks something in Elijah that no amount of professional training can repair. Elijah goes to the Mapleton Police Department with his FBI credentials and, using careful wording that implies official bureau involvement without outright stating it, demands access to their records and evidence room. He finds Officer Reed has a history of excessive force complaints that have been systematically dismissed. The department has a disturbing pattern of covering up misconduct, particularly when the victims are Black residents. Sergeant Washington finds Elijah in the records room and, after confirming he's an FBI agent, gives him a flash drive with Reed and Delaney's text messages. The text confirmed the officer's racial animosity towards Black citizens and revealed that Delaney mocked Zuri after the shooting. This provides clear evidence of the racial animus needed to establish a civil rights violation. The surveillance on Elijah becomes more overt, and his burner phone rings with a blocked number. A disguised voice threatens that what happened to his daughter will look like a playground accident compared to what happens next. The caller knows where his wife and daughter are, and this threat confirms that Elijah is hitting nerves within the corrupt department. The stakes have been dramatically raised. The threat against his family transforms Elijah's determination into something more primal. He calls Director Hayden, who immediately sends 2 agents to the hospital posing as security consultants to protect his family. He then focuses on building his case, unearthing a suspicious connection between Beverly Williams and the police department. Her brother, Captain James Williams, is close to Chief Garrison and head of Internal Affairs. He also meets with Captain Derek Sullivan from Internal Affairs, who reveals Garrison's systematic protection of corrupt officers and his manipulation of the department to maintain power. Sullivan warns Elijah that Garrison has friends in high places, including the mayor and judges. Just as Elijah leaves the diner, he notices a patrol car following him, confirming the department suspects him of more than just being a grieving father. Sergeant Washington calls him again and reveals that the body cam footage was not corrupted after all. It was just classified as unrecoverable on Garrison's orders. She tells him that a backup to the cloud is scheduled for tomorrow night at 3 a.m., a narrow window where the security protocols are relaxed. The next morning, the local prosecutor's office declines to press charges against the officers, sparking renewed protests. Isla emerges as a powerful voice for justice, leading the community's demands at a rally on the steps of City Hall. She declares that the system that silenced her daughter now tries to silence all of us with lies and intimidation. While Isla fights the public battle, Elijah continues his shadow investigation. He uncovers a disturbing pattern of racial profiling and excessive force within the Mapleton Police Department. He finds 5 previous cases where Black citizens with disabilities were brutalized by police, and the officers involved faced no disciplinary action. These cases, like Zuri's, had been systematically covered up by the department's leadership. Elijah is compiling a dossier of these cases when he receives a text from Officer Delaney asking to meet. Elijah is cautious, but decides the potential intelligence is worth the risk. He meets with Delaney in a deserted park. Delaney is nervous and guilt-ridden. He confesses that he and Reed were pressured by Chief Garrison to falsify their incident reports. He tells him that he has been haunted by what happened and feels a deep sense of responsibility. He admits that he became a cop to help people, not to shoot children and cover it up. Delaney reveals that Judge Hamilton, who has close ties to Garrison and his corrupt circle, signed off on a warrant to search Zuri's belongings, and that the prosecution's office, which is also a part of this corruption, has declined to press charges against the officers. Delaney provides one more crucial piece of information. Reed and Beverly Williams are planning to file a new statement claiming they saw Zuri attempting to steal from Williams' store before the confrontation. This latest attempt to smear Zuri's character intensifies Elijah's rage. He now has a plan: He must use the judicial preservation order to his advantage to access the body cam footage before it's gone for good.